Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Board Game Junkies. I'm Christina,
I'm Sean.
and today we are going to be giving you our top 5 best beginner board games.
That's right. So we have come up with a criteria for these games. Like they're gonna have to be 1, easy, right? 2, like the play has got to be fun, and 3, when you learn the game, it's got to be really easy to teach others how to play this game. So let's get into it.
All right, now that we're back, we are going to give you our top 5 best beginner board games from our collection that we actually have. And then we're also going to give you a top 5 of recurring games that we saw from various lists that we found online. Most of which we don't have, but one of which we do. But we'll share that with you after as well, just to give you some more variety. So, to begin, number 5.
Number 5, Star Wars The Deck Building Game. It's a 2-player game, 30 minutes, designed by Caleb Grace and published by Fantasy Flight Games. In this game, it's a standard deck building game. You have 2 starter decks of 10 cards. You have your main deck on the corner, and you also have your purchasing row. It's like any other deck building game. You'll play cards, you'll buy cards, you'll attack your enemy, and you'll win the game. All of this with the Star Wars theme. It is perfect for everyone. Now, let's get into something else I really enjoy about this. So, in this game, which I'm gonna do this because I want you to see, what I like about this when it comes to being simple is just look at this insert. They have made this in such a way that you can easily set this up within a few minutes and you're good to play. And that's perfect for a starter game. And so we've placed this as our number 5.
Okay, so number 4 is a tie because they're both similar in gameplay, is Coup and Love Letter. So Coup is a 2 to 6 player game, lasts about 15 minutes, and it's designed by Ricky Tata and Lamam Games. Don't mind the pronunciation, I likely fudged that up. So in this game, you're working to destroy your rivals, but you have to be mindful that at the same time, they are trying to do the same thing to you. So each player starts with 2 influence cards, placed face down, a reference card, and 2 coins. Each card has a role associated with it. During your turn, you're either playing your role or you're lying. If someone calls you out and you were lying, you would take that card and you place it face up. If you weren't lying, the opponent then would take one of their cards and place it face up. If both of your cards are face up, you're out of the game. So in this game of risk deduction, you essentially want to be the last one standing. Okay, and so tied with number 4 is Love Letter. Love Letter is a 2 to 4 player game, lasts about 20 minutes, designed by Senji Kanai and published by Alderac Entertainment Group. Love Letter is a super simple little card game of risk deduction where you want to get your love letter to the princess, or by removing all of your rivals. This is a draw and play game played over 3 rounds. So on your turn, you want to draw 1 card from the deck, then choose and play one of the 2 cards, resolving its effect. Some of the effects from the cards can knock your opponent out of the game. The round ends in one of 2 ways. The deck runs out, or there's only 1 player left. The game ends when 1 player has enough favor tokens to win. So, as we said, they're similar in their gameplay. I prefer Love Letter over Coup. I don't know if it's because I just enjoy the lore. Is that what you would call it? Of this?
You know what? Theme?
The theme. Yeah, that's right. I think I just prefer the Love Letter theme. I don't really like how there's a lot of lying, I think, and deceit in this one, more so than in this.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep, that's right.
But other people may obviously have different opinions. I prefer this one. What do you prefer out of the 2?
Actually, I really like Love Letter as well. I like Coup. We played it a couple times. It was fine. But Love Letter is definitely my top favorite as well for that.
I also think that this is a really easy game. Like, if you're just starting off playing games or wanting to get into it, like, it's almost too simplistic, but it's a good little a good starter.
I agree with that. I think it's perfect for a starting game. Same with this one. They're the same. Every
Yeah.
game we've made has been all about like beginner games. So
All right. Well, then these two make up our number 4.
our number 3 is Air, Land, and Sea. This is a 2-player game, 20 minutes long. It's designed by John Perry and published by Arcane Wonders. I know I had to look at it, but that is what it is. In this game, you're going to battle over 3 theaters using cards. Each card will have a strength number in the top left, as well as some of them will have strategic advantages. So what you want to do is be the first player to have the most theaters at the end of a round to collect points. So if you feel like you won't win, what you could do is pull out of the battle, giving the victory to your opponent, but reducing the amount of points that they will receive. So in this game, the first person to receive 12 points wins the game. And that concludes our number 3.
All right, number 2, Point City. So Point City is a 1 to 4 player game lasting about 15 to 30 minutes. Too many people, I can't memorize them. So designed by Molly Johnson, Robert Melvin, Sean Stankiewicz, and artist Dylan Mangini. Published by Flat Out Games.
Wow. Okay.
That was a mouthful.
That's right. Holy shit.
So Point City is brought to you from the same team that brought you Point Salad, which we don't have, but I like salad, so I feel like we should get it.
We should.
This is a card drafting engine building game. In this game, you have a 4x4 grid where you're selecting 2 cards that have to be adjacent to each other. You replace those 2 cards with the opposite cards. So, if you took 2 building cards, you would then replace those with 2 resource cards. Through a combination of civic tokens and building cards, you acquire points. When the deck runs out, the game ends. Both players then add up their points from their tableau of cards in front of them. The player with the most points wins the game. I love this game. I love the art. It's cute. It's super easy to learn. We taught our 12-year-old daughter to play. She often requests it. So just based off that, simplicity-wise, I think, if a 12-year-old can learn it, it's easy for an adult to learn it.
That's right.
But yeah, I don't know. I really enjoy Point City.
Top pick.
Well, no, it's number 2.
Still top pick. I would
Top 2.
top 2 pick. I would freaking. This game is requested a lot, so it's a top pick.
Yeah,
Okay.
number 2.
Number 2. And our number 1. Dun, 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 dun. Carcassonne. This is a 2 to 5 player game. It lasts about 35 minutes and designed by, I had to look at it, Klaus Jürgen Ried. Because I was afraid I was going to screw up that name, but it seems like
Probably did.
Probably did, yeah. And it was also published by Z-Man Games. This game is classified as a modern classic game with some of the easiest rule sets around. So in this game, you're going to lay tiles, and when the time is right, you're going to place down one of your meeples to score points later in the game. There are knights that you'd place in the cities, you'd place monks in monasteries, and farmers in the fields. And there's many more places that you can place meeples to score points. The game ends immediately after the turn of the player who placed the last tile. And once the game is over, all meeples that are still in play are scored. And then the player with the most points wins the game. So I find this a very super simple game, easy to set up, and very enjoyable. Just kick back, have a beer, play a game, play a couple games. Always have to give an example of when and how to play this.
I think for me, I think because I am a beginner player to all of this, is sometimes I feel like the point calculations can be kind of confusing. Like this one was a little bit confusing for me, or maybe it's just a Christina thing, and I'm a little slow at it. But
No, it's a Christina thing.
but yeah, I would say that's the only thing. Otherwise, it is really fun. You're trying to create the best thing. That doesn't make any sense. Oh yeah, I forgot. Like there is no game board. Like you are creating it as you go.
Yeah, and you place down your meeples in locations to score points. So if it's a big city like this, you could actually place 2 of your guys. You'll score more points that way. if you have a road here, if you place it here and you make it super long, if you have the longest road with a guy on it, you score points.
I know, it's just, again, like, we don't play a lot of these games for long stretches of time, and then I don't even know.
I know,
I
the
forget
last time
how
I
to
played
play,
this.
okay.
So, that ends this. This is our number 1, Carcassonne.
Okay, so number 5 is Splendor. Splendor is a 2 to 4 player game, lasts about 30 minutes. It's designed by Marc Andre and published by Space Cowboys. This is a tableau building, chip collecting, and card development game. Players are merchants trying to buy gem mines, means of transportation, and shops, all in order to acquire the most prestige points. You win the game by reaching 15 prestige points before the other players do. So this is obviously not a game that we own. You've considered buying it, but we just haven't added it to our collection
I was
yet.
thinking of getting Splendor Duel. I don't know. It was like something that it was just a 2-player game, but I've seen Splendor 2, and I just don't know if I want it. But if you guys can let us know in the comments below if it's considered like something I should have in my collection because it's such a great game. All right, so people's number 4 choice was Pandemic. It's a 2 to 4 player game, plays 45 minutes, designed by Matt Leacock and published by Z-Man Games. So in this cooperative game, several diseases have broken out. The players are disease fighting specialists whose mission is to treat disease-infested hotspots while researching cures. If one or more diseases spread beyond recovery, or if too much time has elapsed, the players lose. If they cure the 4 diseases, they all win.
So we own Pandemic. I was a little surprised to see Pandemic on a beginner top list just because I find it a little difficult to play. Like
Yeah.
it's quite challenging, so it's weird that it would make it.
Like, is the process of playing it easy? Like, would you say that, okay, you flip 2 cards, you put some, like, you put out your diseases. Like, is that considered easy enough for a beginning player?
Yes, but I think that if you don't have that like strategic mindset, or if you're not used to applying strategy, then when you get to this, like, I don't know how, like, I feel like that would be difficult.
I find like you would end up losing the game quite often if you're a beginning player. Like, I don't know if you'd be able to win it every time because there's a lot of thinking going on.
Yeah.
And you really have to work together to figure out how to cure these diseases in time.
Well, it came across several times, so
Yeah, the people have decided.
they have spoken.
It is number 4.
All right, so number 3 on the list, I just did this. Number 3 on the list is Bonanza. Bonanza is a 2 to 7 player game, lasts about 45 minutes. It's designed by Uwe Rosenberg and published by Amigo. This game involves planting, trading, and harvesting beans. The player who harvests the most beans earns the most coins, and they win the game. Well, that seems pretty simple and straightforward. Have you heard anything about Bonanza? Did you ever consider getting that for us?
I did. I actually saw another YouTuber called Actual LOL. Like, go check out his channel. It's amazing. And in there, he's actually shown Bonanza a couple times, actually, in his videos. And it looks like a lot of fun.
Okay.
But, you know, haven't picked it up yet. But soon.
As we've also stated in some of our previous videos, Sean, like, handpicks each one of our games basically to suit his Princess Christina. Because, like, if he wants to play with someone, he's got to make it good and it's got to get to the table. So you're super picky and choosy. Our collection is so small that it at first just fit on that little shelf.
Yeah.
And now we've just kind of moved it into the closet because, you know, we have limited space here. But you see some of these YouTubers and they have like walls and walls full of games. But I often wonder, like, are all those games being played, or is it just you just have the game to have it? Like, I'd rather not. I'd rather have games that we actually constantly bring out and play. Do you not agree?
Yeah, I agree. I like every game that I've purchased has been me spending hours and hours watching videos and reading on it just to make sure it is perfect for my collection. So by the time I finally get it, like, it's going to take forever for me to grow it to the size that I've seen other YouTubers do, but at least I know that every game that I've picked is something that will come to the table at some point. It's not going to be like once a year or once every 2 years. I might be able to get it at least a couple times a month.
Because like yesterday we were at one of our local brick and mortar stores, and they have like this massive wall full of games, and I'm like, oh, this one looks cool. Like I base everything off of just visual appearance, right? Because I don't know anything about the games. But I'm always like, oh, Sean, what about this? And he's like, no, that's a heavy game. That's never going to come out. Like, just no. So if I had it my way, I would probably buy a lot of games that never get played.
Yeah.
Just based off of how they look.
Yeah, it shouldn't base it on just that. No. It's got to be everything. So for people's choice of number 2, again, Carcassonne. Now, we're not going to get into it again, but I have found out that people have requested that you get the Princess and Dragon expansion. Apparently adds to it, makes it better. I'm not sure, but...
We don't have it, but if you've played it with it, let us know, because I'm curious. I sort of like the expansions. It just adds to the game, but...
Yeah. Okay, so that's it for number 2.
All right. Number 1 is Ticket to Ride. So Ticket to Ride is a 2 to 5 player game. It lasts from 30 minutes to an hour. It is designed by
Eleanor Moon
and published by...
Oh, you want me to get that one too? No, actually, Days of Wonder actually publishes that one.
Ticket to Ride is a cross-country train venture game. In this game, you connect cities and build train routes to earn points, based on criteria such as having the longest continuous path of routes, completing different routes, and destination tickets. The player with the most points wins the game. So this game is not a game that we own. We probably should, I don't know. I think maybe the kids would really enjoy it. I feel like it's one of those classics, kind of like Catan, this game.
Oh, probably like a modern classic. Like it would be like Monopoly eventually. Everybody would own this thing, yeah.
Yeah, Catan was also on some lists, but...
Yeah, we were going to put it on our list too, but I didn't know if it was the best board game to start. There are tons of easy beginners, but I don't know if Catan would be on the list.
I think it's a close,
it's close, yeah.
It gets an honorable mention. It's
we'll
a really good game too, though.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so that's it. We hope that we helped you, entertained you, that you enjoyed watching, and leave any comments in the... down below. Like and subscribe, please. We would appreciate that so much.
Very helps us out.
Anyway, thank you for watching.
Bye, everyone.